So today I'm gonna talk about this particular book by Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. And there are a lot of things that I like about this book. Even though it was published in 2002, it's a long time ago. But one thing is, it is still relevant to this day. Because he talks about, especially like his, even though like the book was meant to be for a lot of like creative people, but I think his main audience would be writers because he is actually a writer himself, both fiction and nonfiction. So and this book is divided into like three different main sections. The first section was talking about resistance, what like defining what resistance is. The book two talking about the how an artist or become turning pro to to fight the resistance. So he kind of compare between amateur and professionals, which actually the second book, I think a lot of people liked it a lot, that he actually wrote another book on turning pro, which I have on my bookshelf, but I haven't read it. And I plan to. And the third book is about like beyond resistance, is what he said. Beyond the resistance, on talking about like the higher realm, like the invisible forces. I didn't get a lot from the third section. As you can see, like there aren't a lot of like tabs on my book. But I kind of understand what he wanted to say about this particular section right here. So today I'm just gonna talk a little bit more about the first and the second section, most of them. Okay. So the first one, the resistance. If people in the our artists have read this book, they will always refer self-doubt, self-doubt, procrastination, anything that stop us from doing the work as resistance. And we kind of know, like, once we talk about resistance, because it's just like whatever forces that kind of stop us from sitting on the chair or picking up the brushes or picking up the pencil or like charcoal or anything that we use in drawing, or a computer or typing on the keyboard. You kind of use the word war for a reason, because we are fighting against this resistance every single day. Because like every time that we want to do the work every day, it's coming back. We have to fight it. And he always said the more we like or the more we love the work that we do, the more resistance that we need to fight over it, right? So it's like the things that we like the most is always the thing that we kind of also fear to do the most, because we kind of have a lot of expectations about it. So that's why the resistance is there, but we have to fight it to go over this self-doubt, this fear, to the work that we wanted to do. For example, I'm quoting right here that said, the more scared we are of a work or calling, the more sure we can be that we have to do it, right? So it's kind of a motivational section in a way, like pushing us to do the work that we really wanted to do. And then on the second book, book two, about turning pro. So this one is all about comparing the amateurs and professionals. For example, I'm quoting on page 62 here. They said the amateur plays for fun, the professional plays for play for keep. To the amateur, the game is his avocation. To the pro, it's his vocation. The amateur play part-time, the professional full-time. The amateur is a weekend warrior. The professional is there 7 days a week. Like, if we want to do the work that we want to do as a professional, we have to, treat it like a work. Do not treat it like part-time job, right? So if we want to be an artist full-time, for example, then just don't just paint over the weekend, but you have to like paint every day. If you want to be a writer, don't just write when, quote unquote, when we have the muse inspire us to do the work. We have to sit down and put in the hours, right? Sitting down on the computer or picking up the pen or pencil and write on our notebook or type on the keyboard. And that's what professionals do. Like rain or shine, it doesn't fail, right? So the same thing with us. If you want to turn pro, you have to fight the resistance. We have to do the work, and and get it done. So let's go and get it done. See you next time.